So this film has very interesting characters. If you could choose one to be in real life, who would you be?
Oh, Charlie, absolutely. Top of the food chain. Gotta be.
Likewise. Likewise.
Uh, what do you hope audiences will take after seeing the film?
I just hope they'll be really entertained. It's a very entertaining movie. It's enormous fun, and it's joyously sort of dark. And I hope they'll come out laughing and smiling. You know, for a film which is really about violence, it's very light-hearted, and I hope people take it in the spirit that it's intended.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's as Simon said, it's just a fun ride, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think in that there's a joyfulness, ironically, even though it's very violent, kind of like a cartoon, where you've got 90 minutes to just sit back, relax, put all your worries aside, and have some vicarious fun through these characters.
So, Kriv and Simon, can you discuss the process of bringing the character of Charlie Wolf to life? So, Simon?
Kriv and I had discussions before I came out, like via Skype and email, before I came out to Australia about what Charlie should kind of look like and be like, and they were I've found that we were on the same wavelength. You know, we just sort of kind of enjoyed talking about him a little bit and getting the feel of him and what he was going to look like, and the idea of him being this sort of intruder in this sunny idyll. In walks the angel of death, basically. And so all the stuff like the moustache and the suit, we sorted out before we even met properly, didn't we?
Yeah, via email, just very simple exchange, very straightforward communication. It was great because I think Simon got the idea very quickly that we're making an iconic kind of character, and all the great hitmen wear suits. You know, they've got this kind of lean, shark-like quality about them, and all the Simon's ideas really just slotted perfectly into my template as well. So it was just a lot of fun to go, okay, this is what we're riffing off, and everything then becomes very straightforward.
Can you talk about the collaboration between the two of you?
It was very easy. I hadn't met Kriv before. I had seen his work and was excited to work with him. And I came out. Basically, I'd had a really busy year, and I read this script, and I thought I can't possibly say no to it. It's a really fun script, but it's going to be very hard for me to leave my family again. You know, it'd been a particularly globetrotter year. So I sort of threw the ball back at them and said, I'd love to do this, but can you possibly squeeze me into this specific time frame? And they came back and said, yes. So I went out and had this really intensive shoot time with the guys and with Kriv, and it was a really, really fun experience. It was, we're both film nerds, and we both love our jobs, and any time when you get together with someone, a like-minded person, you have fun, and we did.
So, Kriv and Simon, what was intriguing about the script for you to be part of acting it, and then likewise you directing it?
Well, when I read the script, it just leapt off the page. It was one of those beautifully constructed, really precisely written screenplays that as a filmmaker, when you read them, it's like sheet music. You know, all the notes were there. It was almost like I could tell what the rhythm was, what the time was, how the note should be played. So it was just so much fun to go, okay, I know how to do this. And from that point on, it was just very much, as I said before, it's a straightforward process of applying my instincts of what I thought tonally it needed and what it would reference. So it was just a really delightful process all the way through.
Yeah, I think when you get a script, the thing that you look for is your own interest in it, and if it makes you turn the pages. And this really had that because of the structure. It was very interesting. The characters were all very clearly drawn, and it had all the elements of something that you would sort of say yes to. So, yeah, I couldn't say no.
What were some of your favorite scenes to shoot?
Anytime I had to hold that massive big rifle. Like, I remember we did the scene the very first time you see me walking up the sand dune with this huge kind of rifle on my hip, chasing Steve.
Yes, Steve Marquand, yeah.
And that was great, and because it was just the setting. It was this white sand, this giant dune, And poor Steve was like sick because he had to run up it so many times. It was very hard running in sand, let alone uphill. And Steve was giving it everything, and I was just wandering up slowly after him and just picking him off. Anytime I had to work with the guy, it's such a great cast. We immediately sort of, bonded with each other, and getting to work with Brian Brown, who's an Aussie legend and a wonderful man. As I say, I had like a really intense period, and every day was fun.
Every scene was fantastic. I mean, working with Simon was such a pleasure and such an honour and such a privilege. I remember one scene we were shooting Simon stalking or spying on Elise's character, and I said, Simon, what if Charlie, is asleep and he wakes up, Alice wakes him up and he says, Charlie would never sleep. I went, oh, okay, right.
I remember that because I remember thinking he's like a shark, one of the great hitmen, obviously, is Jean Reno in The Professional, and even when he sleeps sitting up in a chair with his sunglasses on, so no one can see that he's asleep. So I thought Charlie's like read the book of how to be a hitman.
Yep. It's page 4 of the rule book.
Don't sleep.
So Kriv, it's shot in Australia, so we wanted to know is why specifically Eagle's Nest? Why that location?
Well, actually, that's a really interesting question, because the film, again, part of my reading of it, or part of my pitch, I guess, when I read the script, was, look, this is set in a movie world. It's not set in a real town. Eagle's Nest doesn't exist. And it's actually, interestingly, the town itself is a composite of a number of Western Australian little hamlets and towns. So I love the idea of being able to kind of make a film that was, still very much about that kind of environment and that world that does exist in Australia, but then kind of heighten it and create our own little universe. And what I love about the film is that it's basically these 6 characters, and that's it. And they're all doing bad things to each other, and they're kind of hermetically sealed in this this town that is their stage.
It's almost like no one else exists in the town, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do glimpse people, at the bar and stuff, but
Me.
yeah, your cameo sat at the bar, but it is almost as though it's their playground,
Okay, great. What were some of the most difficult scenes to shoot?
Well, walking up and down the sand dune was tiring. Fighting with Sully. You know what? It's hard to actually pinpoint one that was difficult, because it was always a lot of fun. Little weather issues, didn't we? It wasn't quite as sunny as we wanted it to be, and the wind was pretty strong at times.
Again, it wasn't difficult, but it was so much fun. Was the scene where Elise? Oh, I should probably give that away.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
How
probably
could we
a spoiler.
catch it? In what terms?
Anyway, there's a climactic sequence that was involved stunts, and those scenes are always a bit tricky because you're against the clock and safety and all of that. So, but still, Simon made it fun.